Hi everybody, my name is Dory. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery September 12th, 2016. If you're new to my channel, I was 333.5 pounds at my highest. My surgery weight was 300.5. I had lost 33 pounds prior to surgery from the liquid diet for 10 days and also from losing it myself from not eating any kind of grains and gluten and pasta and bread and all that. So my weight now is 258. I've lost 75.5 pounds total in 45, I believe it was, since surgery. So I usually lose about 10 pounds per month. That is my average. And the dietitian, nutritionist, my surgical team, the physician assistants, they all think that's fabulous because I have my head in the game. I'm losing it slowly but surely, and I'm making great changes. So I saw my dietitian yesterday. I had my surgery in Hartford, Connecticut because the hospitals around here just were not equipped, in my insurance's opinion, to do it. There was too many complications and things of that nature. And I'm really glad that they did have me go to Hartford. I live in Massachusetts because the Hartford surgical team actually follows you around for your life. They make sure that you're okay. You can see a nutritionist, dietitian anytime. You go to see them every few months. If you need them sooner, you can call them. You can go in. If you have any questions, they're always there. The surgeon also, I had Dr. Darren Tischler, and he's fabulous. So anyway, so that's that. I actually wanted to do another video because I saw the dietitian yesterday. And on my way there, it takes about 45 minutes from my house to get to the office, and well, one of the offices that they have in Connecticut. And so I prayed on the way, and I was specifically praying to God just for me to learn something, because sometimes when I go in, I'm doing all the things correctly, and so there's nothing really to change or whatever, and I really wanted to learn some things, and I'm blown away by the things that I learned yesterday. So basically, she had asked me a bunch of questions about what my diet was like, what I had for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks that day, the previous day, what a normal day looks like. And so we spoke specifically about protein. And so she said that in the beginning when we first have the surgery, that we're conditioned to do the protein, like everything about protein. Protein this, protein that. Everything revolves around getting a huge amount of protein. And so what she said was that now I'm just about 5 months out, about 4.5 or so months out, and she wants me to recondition my thinking to no more than 90 grams of protein a day. And I'm one that is like petrified about losing my hair because it's so thin to begin with. And so I made sure I got over 90, mostly 120 grams a day up until now. So she said that that's basically overkill in the protein department, and that that would be for like a 6'5" man who was a bodybuilder would need to get something like that. But that I should strive to get about 90 a day, no more than 90 a day. She told me that at this point, I should really be having like, she showed me a piece of, fake food. They have like fake food so you can kind of see what portions look like and what kind of foods should fit where. And so about this much, which is about 2 ounces of meat or fish. And then she put about this much, which is probably about another 2 ounces of a vegetable. So she now wants me to have a vegetable with every meal, and she wants me not to concentrate on carbs or fat, although she did ask me to cut back on the cheese that I was eating unless it was low fat. Not that I was overdoing it, but if I feel like I'm having too much cheese in a day or for 2 days, that would help with my constipation, and that she thought that it would help just in eating going forward. The other thing that she said was most people get scared at this point because they recommend that you start adding in carbs. It does not necessarily have to be pasta and bread because they don't push that at all. That's too much to really be pushed onto someone, especially with a small, stomach, to be able to put something that's going to take up room that a healthy thing should take up. But she did say about even if I just got a teaspoon of some carb, and it could be a fruit, a couple times a day, that would be great. That it's basically, she said that their goal with every patient is to have them eating the same way that normal average Americans or whoever eat, except a smaller portion. So basically, skinny people will tend to have a little bit of fish, a lot of vegetables, and a tiny amount of carbs, if any. But I could choose if I wanted only to have maybe a tablespoon of, say, sweet potato, a tablespoon of rice, something very small just to add in as we're going forward. She said I should be able to fit in a little bit more now than I did right after surgery, which is true. I can fit in probably about, 5 ounces if I wanted. But I still have the restriction. I still have days where I cannot have 5 ounces, days I can just eat 3. For dinner tonight, I had made homemade chili with beans last night. I did half lean beef and ground beef and half of the turkey breast, or turkey, ground turkey, and then 2 kinds of beans. And I put a bunch of little, chopped up onions and stuff, and I put it in there, and that was great. And so I had some of that, and then I had, my husband had made homemade coleslaw. And so, and it was like broccoli and, all that, like broccoli slaw or whatever, but it was a lot of different vegetables, carrots and everything all mixed up. And so I poured a small bowl, it was probably about 4 ounces, and I mixed the coleslaw all in with the chili to kind of give it a chewy, or like a crunchy, a crunchiness to it. And I could eat half. That was it. I was so full. I felt like I must have eaten prior to that because I was just really full. So I, threw the rest away. And so she was just talking about that. We talked about my exercise, and we talked about how I have a Fitbit now and I get 10,000 steps a day. The last week and a half have not been 10,000. It's like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. And that's because the kids have had the norovirus. I had strep about a week and a half ago. Just finished my antibiotics today. And so we were talking about just really pushing myself to be able to go to the gym and to do the elliptical and work myself up to doing it for a longer amount of time as time goes on. She said we did talk about the hair falling out and how I'm taking biotin, and I wash my hair with biotin shampoo and conditioner, and I don't do it every day and stuff. And so she said around now is the time, which of course that would be my luck, because I was like so excited that I didn't lose any hair. But she said it actually occurs between month 4 and month 6. So I guess I'm not out of the woods yet, which is kind of a bummer because I really thought that I was out of the woods, but whatever. So anyway, so I thought that was really helpful. I know a lot of people push the protein as well. but 90 grams, we shouldn't really have more than 90 grams. We don't need more than 90 grams of protein. And she also said protein should be coming from food and not protein shakes. You know, if you are on the go and you grab a protein shake and that's what you're eating on the go, that's perfectly fine, she said. But as far as staying home, and some people you hear on some of the websites on Facebook or some of the groups, you'll hear people having a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, a shake for dinner, a shake for this, a shake for that. And she said that's just not healthy for your body. It's not the normal way that a body functions to have just liquid all the time. Of course, if you're doing that and you're on a fast and you're drinking that, that's perfectly fine. It's just not like to keep the habit of that. You need to get your protein from foods. And so, yeah, so I was encouraged by the new stuff I did today. I had like maybe 1,100 calories. Let's see. I think I had like 50 grams of carbs or 60 grams of carbs, 50 grams of fat, whatever. But she said don't even count any of that. Just really concentrate on the, putting vegetables on your plate, which I did. I had broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots steamed last night for dinner. I had it again today a couple of times, and then I had the coleslaw. So I did find that I did eat better today, and smaller portions and not as much. Like not as often I didn't have to eat. I find myself during the day kind of grazing, which I know isn't great. So I'm glad that I kind of nip it in the bud. I also am going to stop. I'm going to have 1 cup of coffee in the morning. And then that's it. I tend to have an iced coffee and another coffee and sometimes a hot cocoa to warm up at night. And so I'm just going to choose to instead just have the 1 cup of coffee in the morning, 8 ounces or 10 ounces, and then that's it. Which I think will help as well with being able to drink more water. That was the other thing. She wants me to work up to the 100 ounces of water again. I've been doing like 40 to 60 a day, and that's not enough. So anyway, so I have a good direction. I wanted to pass on that information. I know it was news to me about the protein, but it makes sense. She kind of broke it down on how our body works and what we need and how we're ingrained when we first have the surgery. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. But that we're so ingrained in our head when we first have the surgery. Any surgical office will tell you protein, 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 protein. Get your protein in first. Don't put anything else in your body. Protein, protein, protein. And she said, and that is absolutely true, because we need to be able to get the protein in the beginning, because that's basically all that our body is living off of, because our pouch is so small, especially because it's swollen right after surgery. Now, as I'm looking down, as I'm taping this, I am looking down at my vitamins, and I know there's a lot of talk about different vitamins, so I have them right here. So I'm going to show you what I take, and I've been taking these since before surgery, just because I wanted to get my body used to them. With the exception of the calcium citrate and the B12. I didn't start that until they told me to. So anyway, so they started me off. I have Flintstones Complete Chewables, and this is with iron. The back of the label, I've compared it to Centrum, Women's, and other ones that other bariatric patients take, or even the ones from the Bariatric Advantage. They are the same thing. They have everything in here. It has to say Flintstones Complete with iron, though. If they say just plain Flintstones, they're not enough. So I take 1 in the morning, I chew it, and 1 in the afternoon. I also, in the morning, take my D3, and I take only 1. It's 2,000 IUs, and I only take 1 per day. I live in the Northeast, so we don't have a lot of sunshine sometimes over here. And then I bought them on Amazon, but they're for berry melts, and they taste terrific. They are cherry flavor. They're B12 plus, so they have B12 and D, vitamin D, with them as well. Now, when you're taking your vitamin D, you can take it with your B12 at the same time. And then I also have my calcium citrate, and that's also berry melts, and I get it. It's cherry flavor. They melt in your mouth. I take 2 of these a day. They are, let's see, let me see what they are. They are, let's see, I'm trying to see how much it is. So it's 500 micrograms per, so it's 1,000. You need 1,000 calcium citrate per day. And then the B12, I take 1, and these are 1,000. So I take 1 of these. And so I melt those. The B12, if you have them, you know, the melted version, you should melt them under your tongue. That is the best place to absorb them. And another thing that you have to know is that your multivitamin cannot be taken with your calcium citrate or your B12. They have to be taken separate because it counteracts each other. She wanted to make sure yesterday that I did know that. Luckily, I found that on YouTube prior to surgery. One of you guys said it in your video, and I'm grateful that you did. And then I take biotin. I also have, I bought these at Costco. They're B12. They're melted ones too. They're 5,000 micrograms. So I don't know, if somebody wants these, I'll mail them to you. I don't like them. This cherry flavor is very different than the ones that I have from Berry Melt, and they're gross. I don't like them. Maybe you'll like them. If someone wants them, please let me know. Send me a private message. Send me a message down here with your email address or something. I'll send you an email. You can email me, Dori, DORI_Acevedo, ACEVEDO @yahoo.com. And I'll send these to you. It's a full bottle. There's 300 of them. So if somebody wants them, please claim them. I won't eat them. I don't like them at all. Not that I'm trying to give you something that I don't like. I just, you know, they're brand new, and I used one out of there. And so I just want to make sure that somebody could put them to good use, and maybe bills are tight or money's tight or whatever, and you could use them. So in any event, those are the pills I take. And then I take a 5,000 milligram or microgram or whatever of biotin. So those are all that I take. The B12 and the calcium citrate I take together at night before bed. That way it's not at the same time as the Flintstone Complete. And yeah, and that's about it. I don't take anything else. I was taken off of blood pressure medication, one in November and the other in December. I just went for a blood pressure check. When was it? Friday, I believe. I think it was Friday, and it was great. It was 126/74. She was excited. My doctor was amazed. That was my primary care, and she was amazed. She actually was practically jumping up and down at my weight loss, at how much I've changed, how healthier I am, how great my blood pressure is, how I can jog and do certain things that I couldn't do before. So anyway, so that's it. I just really wanted to pass on some information. I know I loved information when I was pre-op. I still love information now that I'm post-op. So anyway, so yeah, if you guys need anything or you have any questions or anything, please leave it below and I will answer as best I can. All right, thanks so much, guys. Bye.